The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break down having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the Mighty Drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to people that Ivora is wanting to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and our studios.
I am Edgar Matthew Karuhanga
and Princess Luwe Delidian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are the Alternative Digitalk.
Real issues, real talk.
Fellow citizens, following the sequence of events, Uganda seems to be at political crossroads.
I'm not a servant of anybody.
Madam, I know the law.
As such, Alternative Digital brings you the Interface Show with retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besuje.
Let's keep on the same page on Alternative Digitalk,
as he gives you the alternatives on the transition question, rule of law, human rights and freedom, youth inclusion in governance, economic stagnation, as he confirms.
I'll be always here, Saturday from 10 a.m. in the morning. Be there.
Don't miss the live discussion on the Alternative Uganda, Digitalk TV Facebook pages, and the Alternative Uganda YouTube channel.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
A very, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to today's edition of the Mighty Drive. My name is Roger Stuyabwe, and it's a humble privilege today to be here in serving in this particular capacity. The date today is the 20th of December. The year of the Lord is 2022. The year is coming to a close, and Christmas is just around the corner. It's about, I think, now 4 to 5 days until Christmas. I hope you're all hyped up. This is the season that is no other. When we were young, these are the times we always looked out for, waiting for Christmas. When is it coming? It's the time you get new clothes. It's the time you get a lot of new things, really, and the cycle continues from this Christmas to the following one. But I hope your family is ready, and this season brings so much laughter and joy, and that the new year comes with so much blessings. Today, I'm going to go a little bit into the updates on things that happen in and around us, and then we'll have later a discussion on the environmental and human rights issues, obviously, with the gentleman Bob Barigye and my fellow co-host who's going to be here, Farida Bikobede. But before that, I also want to mention that the accidents are on a rise, especially now on highways, the people who are going back to the villages for the Christmas season. I hope that you guys actually pay much attention in that regard. Yesterday, we lost the MP of Serere County. The gentleman is called Okabe Patrick. He died in an accident yesterday together with his wife and his driver. And not just that, we saw a number of accidents happening. There was a car that rammed into the global bus, and then there was another one who, I think he also ran into a border and a trailer. A lot of accidents are really happening, and so I hope that that particular issue is put into consideration as you're going. Please be sure to drive at a speed that you can control, at a normal speed, and please also don't drink and drive. Make sure that the life of the people you are with is secure. Drive at a time. If you have to be in a jam, please don't be overtaking because you feel you should be getting to a place much earlier. It doesn't benefit you to die before you even get there at all. So I hope that people actually get a little more serious with their lives in this festive season. People at home are waiting for you. They cannot afford to hear the news that you did not make it, that you lost your life just because you are over speeding or you are drunk driving or you did not take the cautions necessary to make sure that you avoid. So this gentleman, the MP of Serere, he lost his life in an accident yesterday, and the parliament said that they are going to give him a state burial, which is, I think, will be scheduled in the due time. For now, I think they're still, the body is still in the mortuary and doing the post-mortem kind of stuff, and the family is now mourning the loss of that gentleman. Do not become one of those families that lose their loved ones in this season. Make sure that you take the cautions that are much necessary. Make sure that this kind of issue does not happen. And that doesn't go only for drivers, but even the bikers, the people who drive bikes and borders. Those folks have a way they want to always maneuver between jam and between cars. You do not know. And then another problem is the one of a border and a biker, you are the body. For the car, at least you know there is something you're inside. But here you're the body. If you hit something, you are the one. It is a straight head-on effect. So try to be as cautious as possible. Take life more seriously. We need money, I understand, but money is not going to be useful if we are not living to enjoy it anyway. So I think that should inform our season, but also moving forward, because even after the season, people will be coming back. There's so much jam. After that, we'll have kids coming to school, and it doesn't really serve any purpose to lose lives in that kind of manner. It's be a little more cautious and try to make sure that life is preserved as much as possible. Moving on, yesterday the President of the Republic of Uganda convened a national competitive forum. I think this happens once every year, if I'm not mistaken, and it's a platform of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, where he was trying to put emphasis on what he called COVIDnomics, which is now the economics of after the COVID-19, which is how to springboard, to get back on our feet on the economies, make sure that we are actually moving after the COVID-19 hit. He talked about a number of things, and this platform brings together stakeholders to dialogue on putting Uganda on economic stand in the region, but also on the international level. Literally what it is that they discuss ways and ideas and approaches to make sure that if we are in the East African region, for example, how can we position Uganda to be able to be one of the powerhouses, economic powerhouses in the region, but also on the continent as a whole and the globe altogether. And he put some of the issues on being unique in what we're selling. He gave an example of some, medicine-making companies, there were two, and looking at how unique one is better than the other, looking at maybe the supply of medicine as you're making it. Also, you have to put in consideration the age that kids, for example, would do much better with like syrups instead of tablets and stuff like that. He gave that kind of illustration and said, look, as we want a country to grow, we also must focus on things that are making us unique to make sure that as you go wherever you go, much as there's competition, you should be able to stand out. And that is not that you do something different, because if you're selling a medicine, the thing is it has to be curing. So even if it's cures and the other one cures, what should stand out is that yours has to have a unique way of branding and marketing at that. And so the theme of the discussion was really focusing on the import substitution and export promotion. which was the focus. And now this comes also, the other day when he was going to the US-Africa Leaders Summit, he did go through the United Kingdom with his son-in-law, Audrey Kwabogo, and you see they made a lot of exhibition on Ugandan agriculture products. There were matoke, there were coffee, there was I saw jinga, I saw a number of that stuff really. And they were doing an exhibition of the Ugandan markets and the Ugandan produces, trying to put it out there. And so I think these are the initiatives we need. And after that, I think actually Audrey had another show that he had in the US. So the state has skipped my head. But he did have another one, and he was also talking to the people in the diaspora on how to try to market Uganda in that regard, but also talk to investors, invite them to most of these discussions and talk to them about Uganda, about the potential that Uganda is, about what actually can and the region and the country is capable of producing. And so I think those are some of the things that we need to look out for, but he also said we need intentional establishment of stand-alone Uganda trade centers in strategic locations across the globe. Now, there's also another place, it's in Europe, that Audrey actually went to. Apparently, they established a center, and he has a company that he heads, and they established a Uganda center there, a Uganda trade center there, and saying that, look, this is going to be the other place, one-stop shop for Uganda, and this will help in strategizing the country and the economies and the product that we are able to sell in this particular regard. And so this, in my regard, was actually a good call, only that the problem is we do a lot of talking and now we do very less of implementation. It is one thing for the president to have the goodwill, but it's another thing to have the will and the might, the capacity to finance this kind of stuff. We have seen most of these initiatives, be debated, they talk about them, but they never come to fruition. One reason, because sometimes the money is actually swindled by the people who are supposed to be implementing them, or the will is not even there, that the resources cannot be provided. And so we need to focus on a number of these things. Yesterday we were here with Kato, and we were talking about the Uganda dropping out of some football tournaments because apparently there are no resources. And those are the ways, some of the ways that we have to market the country. You market the country, and that could invite investors, either in the field of talent development and all that, but also in the field of tourism, in another different field really. And so it cannot just be about the monies and the investment alone. There's just a number of things that contribute to the economy that we need to put so much emphasis and focus on. So I think and I hope that the president, as he talks about that much needed uniqueness in trade and investment, he does also avail the resources that we need, but also follow through on accountability to make sure that the resources are allocated for what they are supposed to do and the monies actually do go on the spending agendas as they are established in those budgets, other than the money going and then we do not have accountability, and when they run after who might have eaten the money, they say, leave my people alone. It's not fair. We had the Minister of Finance a few months ago say that he doesn't mind if we borrow as much as possible as long as the money actually is spent according to those borrowing targets. The problem is, until when shall we borrow? If we cannot look at investment, the country is actually going down the drain. So I hope that the president is actually serious on that, and that he does follow through to make sure that some of these things actually do come to fruition. Now, moving forward from that, and relatively the same note about the US-Africa Leaders Summit, there was a discussion. We saw an interview between the journalist Remy Bahati and President Museveni, and most of the people have actually been waiting to see what was that interview and what was actually out of that interview. And so I did get a hold of a little bit of it. I'm going to go through a few of them. I'm not going to go through the whole discussion of the interview as it was, but he asked what President Museveni and Uganda benefits from the US-Africa Leaders Summit. He did break down only 4 things that are mostly important. One is look for more investment. That means going out and selling Uganda and making sure that people can see the potential the country is and that they can invest, have the faith that they can invest in a region and still get the money. but also that the country benefits. That is one of the reasons why they want. Two is consolidate trade access, which is more or less the same, that make sure that as a country, as we do import and export, we have enough allies on each side of the globe. Make sure that as we want to export things, we import things, we also should be in position to export things to the same economies. It is not fair to be importing second-hand clothes from China and not importing anything there. So we need to export, sell to them as much as we get from them. And then he also talked about getting tourists, which is also important. Uganda is one of those places in Africa that are endowed with natural resources, and places really that we can go for tourism, right from culture to the natural resources, the mountains, we have the gorillas, animals, we really have a number of things to show for tourism. And so he says that one of the reasons and things we hope to get from the US-Africa Leaders Summit is that we get some tourists. And two, the fourth thing was get allies for security and fight against terrorism, which is one of the things. If you look at West Africa right now, they're fighting, cross-border terrorism, and a lot of governments have been toppled actually in the last about 3 years. More than 3 governments have been toppled in the last 3 or so years. And so he's saying that some of these things are actually to make sure that we have enough allies to avoid the happening of such events, so that when they happen, we can, topple them, we can handle them, and with allies and all that, because sometimes, obviously, you cannot handle a lot of things alone. And then he was asked about the transfer of power, and obviously highlighting that about a number of leaders, of people have led the United States since Museveni became the president of Uganda. And so they asked him, which is a retaliation to what he said when he was coming, that the problem of Africa is people who overstay. She asked him if he still believes this, because it seems that the West and most of the countries have come to believe that the problem that has now also befell Africa is people who overstay. They are welcome, and so they curtail the democracy growth. He did mention that, the US being founded in the 1923 and the independence in 1776, and over 10 years when they actually did not have elections, which began in 1789. And then he says, for us, we have periodic elections. Elections happen every 5 years. And that began with Uganda. The US took a number of years without elections. In fact, the thing about the term limits in the United States actually came in 1945, which is the time after Franklin Roosevelt led for 4 terms. That is when they put the provision of the term limits, that a president can only lead for 2 terms and then retire and have another one come through. He said that the US was built for over 100 years. The Uganda is still being built, and so it is only fair that Uganda is given enough time and faith for it to build its own economies, its democracies, and a number of other those issues. Those are some of the things he talked about, but there were a lot more actually. So if I get time next time, I'll come here and break down a little bit of those that I may not have, talked about. Moving on, Twitter, Twitter users actually voted against all Elon Musk leadership. Most of them have said that the place has become different from what it was. Twitter used to be a place that people actually had the freedom to talk, but also make sure that no one would overstep or step in another one's space. No one abuses anyone or does anything contrary to the common practices of the people. And that is when Elon Musk had not acquired this particular platform. Since he got, a lot of things have been changing. A lot of people have been complaining about losing. People no longer actually do advertisements. We saw a lot of companies withdraw from advertising on Twitter because it was quite uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty on Twitter because of the things and changes that Elon Musk keeps making every single day. And for that reason, he's actually no longer 17 million accounts voted for Elon Musk to step down from the Twitter leadership, and he said he will respect the results of that vote. In fact, I participated in that vote, so I hope that he does respect our votes for that matter. And actually, for that reason, he's no longer the richest man. Since his acquirement of Twitter, he has no longer He's no longer the richest man. He's, I think, Tesla shares or something like that kind of dropped. Now the richest man is called Bernard Arnault, a gentleman. He's a French businessman and actually the executive chairman of LVMH, which is Louis Vuitton actually. Most of you know the label of Louis Vuitton. It's in the bag. It's a fashion industry. It's in bags, it's in shoes, it's in clothes, it's in everything that is fashion related. And so that gentleman is now the richest man with $182 billion US net worth. Elon Musk is about 163. He's 163.7 billion. And the gentleman has been beaten only because of the issues that Twitter has brought about. And so those are some of the news that I have for you this morning. I remain Roger Stuyawe. We're going to go in for a short commercial break. When we come back, I'll be right here with my colleague Farida Bikobede, and we'll be talking about issues environmental and human rights. Keep it digital, don't move. Good morning.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Fellow citizens, following the sequence of events, Uganda seems to be at political crossroads.
I'm not a servant of anybody.
Madam, I know the law.
As such, Alternative Digital brings you the Interface Show with retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besuje.
Let's keep on the same page on Alternative Digitalk,
as he gives you the alternatives on the transition question, rule of law, human rights and freedom, youth inclusion in governance, economic stagnation, as he confirms.
I'll be always here Saturday from 10 a.m. in the morning. Be there.
Don't miss the live discussion on the Alternative Uganda, Digitalk TV Facebook pages, and the Alternative Uganda YouTube channel.
Ready? Okay, let's serve Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break down having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the Mighty Drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to you people that Ivora is wanting to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and our studios.
I am Edgar Matthew Karuhanga.
Farida Bikobede.
And Princess Luwe Delidian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are the Alternative Digitalk.
Real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, Real talk.
Amakya amalungi abatukereddeko ku mpewo zaffe eza the alternative Digitalk njagala okubalamusaako mwasuze mutya bwa mikwano obulamu batambulidde bulungi olwaleero we mbadde nzija nga ndaba ekkubo kkalu ne ngamba abantu bagenze dda mu kyalo naye temutuleka Kampala naffe mututwale naye nga njagala nze okubaaniriza everyday n'aba mweno wiiki yonna nja kuba mbaagaliza Christmas ennungi kubanga nayo omwaka si mwangu gutembeeta mpaka wanene etugutuusizza naddala eri abo ba activists ababaddeko mu makomera eri mwe abatali ba activists naye ng'ate naawe embeera tekuyisizza bulungi enjala ebadde baluma nga temumanyi kye munaalya the following day or the following night naye nga Mukama abaleseewo nga mukyali balamu temuli balwadde you are not in hospital temuli balema nti oba mwafunye ebisago gwe munnange oba osaana okwebaza omutonzi oba okuwa obulamu ate munnange nakukirizisa osobole okubanga ate omalako omwaka 2023 bangi nnyo nno abagenda okubanga ate bagufulu tebagumalaako mu nnaku ze tugendamu so tujja bakubiriza naye abavuga temuvugisa kimama accidents ziringa accidents abantu bali mu kufa accidents balaye ne bwoba toli mu mmotoka yo wa taxi mugambe sebo fo obulamu tukyabwetaaga abasajja bavuga emmotoka bo babala luutu nanti kati transport bamwongezezza babala luutu bagamba enkuba y'olutu zange nga 10 kati mwagenda bavuga ku speed ye gyabalirako kuba ayagala kukola kasente bana you always have a voice and speak up kubanga bw'onoofa ate munnange teri eyo agenda kukwogerera omufuta ayogera ne bwekalakaasa otya kakati we have a quote of the day. Our quote says the past, the present and the future are real one day and today. The past, the present and your future biri ekintu kimu bibeera mu lunaku lwe tuyita today. You can work to change your past and you can work for your future. The past, the present and the future. So your today determines where one ochakaringa your past okubeera nga ate kyakugobera ate ffe munaffe ewaffe tuli baavu sisobola kwenyika Mukama nga yanonda nti anza okufuna ssente so bw'obeera wekubagiza you will never change your past and your future you can work for your future. Okay, gwe wasomera mu masomero mabi nasobola okukola ssente abaana bo ne basomera mu masomero amalungi oba ne bakulira mu mbeera ennungi and your present you decide to be happy or you decide to kwekubagiza and show the whole world nti gwe ebizibu bisibukawo. Remember we all have problems lwakuba nti how we carry them to the public matters a lot. Good morning, Roger.
Good morning, Farida. I was listening to one of those quotes are sometimes unfair to some of us.
Like how?
Because we do actually have problems, but that will be a discussion of another day. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to today's drive. My name is Roger Studiawe, and it's an honor with Farida today to have a gentleman, Bob Barigye. He's going to be telling us just a little bit about himself. He's going to introduce himself. I don't know if he's good at Uganda. We're going to try to do a bit of both English and Uganda for the benefit of our viewers who are both. So I'm going to invite you to just introduce yourself and say hello to our viewers.
Hello viewers, good morning everyone. Amanya gange, Ampita Barigye Bob. Ndi musajja mufumbo. Era nga ndi musajja eyasoma nasoma busomesa. Nenkolako ebbanga paka lwe natuuka nenkola ki nendabanga ebirala binneetaagisa awalala nensalawo kiri nkirekera abalala nengenda nenkwasaganya kino. Ndi activist era nga ndi environmentalist, omuntu ayagala obutonde era abuuliriramu eddembe. Era kyekintu ekimu ekyasinga okunsikiriza okubeera nti nno mbeera activist kubanga unfortunately obutonde tebwogera. Naye ate nga obutonde obulamu bwaffe ate bo bwe tusalawo kureactinga bubi ate tebureactingirawo so katulina okufuna abantu abasobola okubeera nga boogerera obutonde so kati ekintu kyempuliramu eddembe era nga kintuusiza wangi nakyo kintuusiza ne wano leero naye ng'ekisinga obukulu twali tuli mu campaign ya Stop EAOCOP era nga etuusizaako ebizibu bingi olw'okuba nti tusazeewo twogerere obutonde so nga kyekyo ndi musajja wa famire era nga mbeera mu Kampala muno
Sounds okubeera nawe olwale busa. Farida does laugh at my Uganda, but
you are trying.
I am actually good.
You're very good.
But it's good to have you. You did mention that you're an activist.
Yeah.
I want to get your perspective of who exactly is an activist and what do they do, because we seem to have some mixed signals on what an activist is. Nowadays, every well-wisher feels like they can brand themselves as activists. Every person who passes on the road and something
makes a few noise.
Something is wrong is done. It feels like from today onward, I am an activist. I am this and that, and before you know it, thing loses meaning. I, for example, cannot call myself an activist even when I am, or if I am. I prefer to say advocate, for example, environmental advocate or something like that. At least it feels different or something. To you, what is an activist and what is activism exactly?
Literally, activism is the ability and the will to speak to power. Ng'okola buli kibu ekyetaagisa okulaba nti nno ekintu okimanyisa banno. Waliwo abamu ajja okukeera ku makya yeekubyayo akafaananyi ng'agamba nti nno kino kibi. Waliwo omuntu ajja okuvaayo oluusi agende ku kkubo mu kwekalakaasa. Waliwo omuntu ajja okutambula ku office ng'agenda dropping a document ku ekyo kyakkiririzaamu. Ba activists naddala wano e Uganda be bantu oluusi abanyoomebwa. Kubanga wano e Uganda buli lw'ovaayo n'ogamba nti nze kino nja kukikola n'okiteekamu amaanyi, abasinga obungi bakubuuza ye gwe ofunira luddawa. Wavudde ewuwo oluusi toleseeyo na mmere bulungi naye n'ogamba naye ku kino kanninya kapiki nziruke ntuukeko ku nsonga eno. Okusobola okubeera nti nno olina obwo obuvumu, especially mu Uganda yaffe eno. Mu Uganda yaffe eno kiri nti nno abakulembeze baffe baafuna omuze gw'obutawuliriza. They do not want to listen, even when you are telling them the right thing. Because we have involved ourselves in research, we have known the things, and we are telling them, kino mu bbanga bwe liti kigenda kuleeta buno obuzibu.
Yes.
And they don't want to listen. So in Uganda, sometimes you go an extra mile. Ugamba no. Because katufe tubadde tuogera n'ennema ekwatibwa ku buvunaanyizibwa bw'obutonde. Naye n'otuuka mu ofiisi y'omuntu nga environmentalist munno amanyi ky'oyogerako. N'akugamba munnange, nkimanyi naye nkole ntya. Kati oyo nze muyita coward. Bw'obeera activist olina okubeera nti nno ne bwe kiba nga kikostinga ki osobola okuvaayo n'ogamba nti nno kino. Kubanga abamu kitukostinga emirimu gyaffe, abamu kitukostinga emikwano gyaffe, abamu kitukostinga ne famire. Nti nno omuntu agamba nti kino kye mutandise abasajja be mugamba kino ng'abasajja bagagga. Mugamba nedda si kya bugagga ku kino. Ku kino kye njogera ku kya mwana wo ne muzzukulu wo. Tekitegeeza nti nno buli muntu atudde w'atudde nti oluusi yasinga mu ekyo. Naye muno bagamba nti kino nno twandikikoze bwe tuti. Tetulina Uganda yancha. Tetulina eno Uganda Katonda gituwa. We didn't make an application to the Ugandans.
No,
so when I see something going wrong, that is going to affect the future. Because at one moment our leaders will come and tell you, okay, you people didn't even tell us. But this time we are telling them that this is wrong. Don't do this. This will do this. An activist ye muntu alaba gwe by'otannalaba n'asalawo abikutegeeze. When Jesus Christ came, actually for us, the activists, our first mentor is Jesus Christ. Kubanga yalaba naga nti kino kifu, kino tulina kikyusaamu. Abali bakwatisa amateeka nga bamugamba nedda. Wadde bimu bituufu tetulina byogera. Kikintu kyaffe tukitta. So, n'akwatibwa, he was innocent, he was crucified. And now everyone, tuba tuba activists tugamba nti nno nina kingi nnyo kye nja okufuna mu nsi nti nno nina byenkuŋŋaanya nedda. Ekigambo kyange ne byenkola ebyo ebigenda to that extra mile nti kino omwami nno baatugamba. They said this. We didn't listen to them. Me, I studied biology.
I was going to ask, what were you teaching?
I used to teach chemistry, biology, and I know most of my students are watching me. But when you study biology, you look at things and how we have bwetwonoonye ebintu ate nga we are suffering. Kubanga for instance atwogera ku stop EAOCOP eno tino eno pipeline tubagamba abantu bamu bagamba tugamba tino mwete mwagala Uganda efune sente mugamba amafuta tetugasima. No, that's not what we are saying. Tubagamba there are other techniques that you can use. There are other places where you can pass this pipeline. Listen to us. For instance, ekintu kye tugenda okukola amafuta ge Uganda gagenda kumala emyaka nga 10 mukama ge twampozi nga badiscovery y'amalala. Naye ebintu bye bagenda okwonoona bonoona ebintu ebimazeewo emyaka mingi ate n'ebintu ebijja okubeerawo. For instance, abantu bangi ekitweruuse ekitugaana okutegera bino ebintu kino okubanga tetutambudde tubadde mu kibuga wano tetulaba bintu bino. Omuntu amanyi Maction Falls n'ekigendo gituukako kubanga it's going to cease to exist just because these people want it that way. Tubagamba, can't you avoid this? Kyemutamanyi nti no eyo pipeline 460 kilometers zigenda kubeera in Lake Victoria. When they're drawing these maps, they try to kulaga nti no tuliko bali, but the truth is egenda kubeera ngeri heated at 50 temperatures of 50 degrees. Ntino okute pipeline so big ogitadde mu mazzi eri heated, amazzi gonna ageetooloddewo ne byonna ebyetooloddewo awo
tebiina bulamu.
Tugamba by look here, kino ekintu tusobola okukikola differently. The reason why this pipeline was diverted okulaba nti eyite Tanzania ireme kuyita Kenya kubanga abana Kenya bo bali advanced, ettaka lye baali tebajja litwalira bwereere nga bali mukola Uganda. For instance, Uganda olaba nti no kimu kya kutaano ku bantu be bagenda okuaffectinga ku ttaka tebannabasasula. And we're telling them, come on guys, you can pay these people and we move on. Amafuta gyonna gye gabaddo ebintu ebisinga obungi galeeta entalo lwaga nti abantu baate bakkiriziganyiza omuntu omugyeko ettaka lye kati bamaze emyaka 3 bakola assessment sente bazirina tebazisasula. Ate ffe ekisinga otuluma bw'olaba nga Uganda kyetugenda okufunako tugenda kufunako 15%. The biggest percentage 85% y'abalala at the cost of a Ugandan. Tubabuuza Total Energies, you are taking 62%. Why don't you compensate our people? Bwetuvaayo tubeera makomera all the time. We are telling them the truth. Twaga, you guys, abantu bano batabeere satisfied ekigenda okutuukawo bagenda kuvandalizinga your investment. They don't want to listen.
Nga babasiba.
Nga batusiba. Like for instance, ffe batukwata and one of our colleague kubanga yendoza they had prior information that he was one of the organizers. He was detained somewhere where we don't know. We don't know what was talked to him. After 3-4 days, he's brought back. And like, guys, I've been blindfolded all along. Just telling them, pay these people. We need Maction Falls. We are telling them, Lake Albert. Bw'otunuulira ebyennyanja ebiri awo byonna Eastern Congo ebyennyanja byebalya bivaawo. That is Uganda bw'olaba nti nno ebintu ebigenda okubeera affected in the lake species 43% ebyennyanja. Olaba nti n'engege tubaire tugigula sente za bbeeyi egenda kwekubisaamu emirundi 3. Ate kye bakoze bwe banaamala gino emyaka 10 gye baagala okusimba amafuta gaabo bagenda tulekera ekizibu. The problem with Uganda, we are not poor. We are gifted by nature, but we have irresponsible leaders that are doing everything to see that they jeopardize everything that is moving on. For instance, if you were a Ugandan, a true Ugandan, you would listen, okay, these people call us irresponsible, angry people. We are telling them, come on, listen to us. Why don't you listen to our statistics? Because abantu emitwalo 12 egy'abantu gigenda kubeera affected totally. Wala ekyo ntera okugamba abantu ewammwe mu kyalo si we wasinga obulungi naye that bond gy'olina n'okugamba nti nze batuzaala wano bajjajja bange baabaziika wano eyo ye bond kati gwe okwata families ozimu kuzidispressinga just because toyagala kuwuliriza. Tukugamba kifo ky'okuyisa guno omudumu wano afe tugamba the best available technique wandiise wano n'okwata wali n'odda wali. They're telling us we don't want to listen to you and everything that you say tugenda kubeera nga tubasiba.
But Bob, if you have seen pipelines, you know they go literally straight line. They don't come. But as an activist, environmental in that regard, I am glad you actually talked about the EAOCOP. I want to first get your place. Would you rather would not do the whole extraction of oil? Are you against the extraction as a whole or against the pipeline as one?
Ali part of the group egamba tojja gasima.
Ori kutojja gasima, or you just feel there is a different way we can do things?
Instantly, nze siri muntu ayagala nnyo okola ebintu reactionary. Temujja gasima, temujja kola ki. No, that's not what we are saying. Me personally. We are saying osobola ogasima at a low environmental cost.
How do we do that? For
instance, when you look at Lake Albert, when you look at the Kingfisher side of it, egenda okubeera sino gyegenda okukolera gyegenda okusimirako. Tubagamba awo we musima diversity y'egundi ebiriwo musobola okusimagana amafuta and ne mutwala ku bagita Kabale Industrial Park ne bagatwala awo then awo ne tutandikira awo okukola ki okulowooza ku birala. Because look here, Lake Albert ne Lake Victoria amazzi gaamu abantu ge bakozesa awo wonna when we have an oil spill, because if these people are not satisfied, they're the ones that are going to go vandalize it. Those have to come and take pipeline yona jengenda okuyita. Kitegeera? Kale ne bw'obanga ogambye nti n'ogenda gasima nti no twagala tugamba nti no lwaki bana abantu temunnaba compensating. But what reason would they give?
They have not displaced them already. So
when you make an
assessment,
assessment,
the process.
What they do, when you make an assessment and you tell me that you are going to live here, I have to think where I'm going. Eh? So kyandibadde kya buvunaanyizibwa kubanga baba bagoba mu bitundu ebyo abakyala emmere yaabwe bagyonoona nti waliwo abantu abamu awali fenced nti nno n'okutuukawo obutuusi tebakyabakkiriza naye tewamuwa ssente kubaako gy'alaga kati oyo omuntu emyaka ena njagala okirowoozeeko emyaka ena ng'osula bweru kubanga omuntu ayitaka lyabyetaaga. For instance, tetugamba kyandibadde kya buvunaanyizibwa bw'oŋŋambye tujja kuyita wano. Okay? So kondekeo ngira nkyabeerawo nga naye bw'onoonya ssente.
Kati omuntu wababuuliza lwaki temumobilizinze bali ababanja ne bajja ne beebanjiza? Why are you at the front line?
Kankule ekintu kiri kimu. Wano e Uganda abantu abasinga obungi batya. That's why I thank all activists. Because activism, temulowooza nti n'abantu oluusi bemulaba ku street bokka oba abantu abavaayo okwogera nga ffe abali mukola. Waliwo abantu abali abanoonya documents, mulimu abantu abali mu track techniques by engineers abaga nti nedda kino kyandikoleddwa bwe kiti because there is naye kubanga twakwata endagaano ne Uganda nekola endagaano ne Total nebaga nti nze nja kukola infrastructure development. Both Total kye bakola bakozesa the cheapest available techniques kubanga baagala kujja mu sente zaabwe. Tugamba nedda because of the cost that we are going to go through, use the best, not the most economically available. They don't want to listen. And abantu beebinyola basinga obungi abantu tebagenda kuvaayo kujja bonna abamu abatya bali kubatiisatiisa abantu abasinga okugula amataka g'ebunyolo bali abantu nga bataano bwe bategeera nti no pipeline egenda kuyitawo ne batandika okugenda okubba abantu abamu nga babagula cheaply abamu nga babagobawo eno game reserve eno biki okitegeera ne batwala ettaka lyabwe
nga beetegekera okujja okubagula
kati bo bali mu kusaba ssente nnyingi.
Be compensating.
tugamba tekiri fair. Kubanga ono omuntu bw'anaagenda n'obusungu obwo yagenda okuleetera obuzibu amafuta gaffe. Ekitegeeza gwali mu kukola ekyo gwe mulabe w'amafuta so sinza akikugamba. Okitegeera? Like ecosystem. Olaba mu ecosystem fa basoma biology bw'ojjamu ekintu kiri kimu oleeta obuzibu. Ne bw'ogamba nti otta obuwuka bwonna kyova olaba abantu balwanyisa nga DDT. Kubanga in trying to kill the mosquitoes, they were killing literally everything.
A lot of collateral.
Yes. Kati tugamba nti no, mu ecosystem buli wojjamu ekintu ekimu. For instance, heating this pipeline okubeera nga transporting ngeri ku 50 degrees ogenda kutta obuwuka bwonna, ogenda kutta ebintu byonna ebiriraanyeewo. Tukugamba there is an available option where it will be transported when it is being heated at around 5% or 10%. You don't want to listen. Abantu bagamba ogende muleeta abanyolo. We will bring them. This is just the beginning. We will come with them. But Rome was not built in one day, and we are keeping on trying to show these people, because for us we don't want the collateral damage. Tukole kino tuogerezeganye nammwe tugenze mu makooti tugenze wa, because we think that is quite a cheaper option. But if they keep on pushing us, that's where we are going. When you look at Nigeria, Boko Haram wasn't existing in Nigeria until when they disagreed about oil. These people are not satisfied that their resources being taken by other people who don't want to listen to them by the virtue that they don't want to listen.
But don't you think you people came out late?
No. For instance,
because
the development
is being done.
The development technically tosobola kulwanyisa kyo, tosobola kugamba kyo kyebatanagira. All the documents and what they are going to do, they are all out. But the infrastructure development
hasn't yet started.
It is at 10%. And what we are talking about, some of the things have not. Tebinayitayo jetugamba nti wontemuyisaawo. Chovola we are vigor tubaga nedda. There is an option here. Ngana nga badanga nti no pipeline inakubeera straight. The research and the available techniques we have researched about, they are going to be stores, they are going to be valves. The human body has blood. The veins are not in a straight line just because they have valves. So they keep on pumping the blood. And we're telling them, we can do this. Maction falls, bwogitunuulira. Sente zeetuleetera. Ne bwe tugamba nti tudevelopinge Maction Falls yokka. Tugifuule nga Niagara Highlands, gundi Falls. Ziyinza okuleeta sente zikubisaamu emirundi 8 okusinza zigenda okujja mu mafuta mu myaka 10. And we're telling them, Jagal Falls went, ebiyira byonna biweddewo. Amasannyalaze gaakyukamu. And we told them during that time, nedda, we can't do this. Look here, our leaders must learn to listen and think otherwise.
Do you want to say they don't just listen, or they are money-minded?
They are stubborn. They don't want to listen. Even when we tell them the truth, sometimes we have been in conferences with them and we tell them, okay, this can be done this way. And they're like, yes, we know. Why don't you do it anyway? Just because it's coming from me, I think it is disrespectful to tell them the truth. And we're telling them, this country belongs to all of us. You are my leader today. Within 10 years, you will not be here. The decisions that resulted into the First World War and the Second World War were decisions of big men that knew each other, old men that knew each other, but the payment or the consequences went to people that didn't know each other. People go to war. You are my age mate. We start killing ourselves because some two old people, two gentlemen, disagreed in one conference. And we are dying. Our families, our children are becoming orphans, and we are telling them, no, even when you disagree there, for us we have a responsibility to know what we are going to do. Because tomorrow we shall have other leaders. But what is going to happen after 30 years? Leadership will be changing. I might not be still alive. But the consequences of the actions that we took then
will still exist.
will still exist.
Bunyoro as a region has leaders. Have you tried to engage these leaders for them to be able to front your issues on a bigger platform?
Look here, we have gone up to the European Union Parliament. Don't you think people have started listening to us? The Bunyoro leadership. You guys, the bad thing is that people, Ugandans were in Uganda and we seem not to be in Uganda. How many of you have lately seen the homecoming of Bunyoro publicly?
Bamuwamba jage gamukuma is what I know. But no, gamukuma, but abamu bagamba bamuwamba. He's being protected by army.
I'm not privileged to speak some things, but no, all is not well.
That is, I
Their
am
leadership.
I am a Munyolo, I am telling you.
If you are a Munyolo, offset, I will tell you what is happening there. The leaders have been held captive. And we are saying, okay, you want to exploit their resource. Why don't you talk to them politely? Because at the end of the day, these are the same people. After you have developed everything, they are the same people that are going to fight it.
Let me ask you, Bob. You did mention that when you're doing what you're doing, the other people are also listening, and you do mention the European Parliament, which eventually obviously changed their mind, as you well know. With all these opportunities, there are people who have said we do not need the West determining how we do our business, because anyway their involvement is as far as their interests are concerned, not ours, which yes. I am inclined to agree. But you recently had COP. The Conference of Parties, which was in Africa this time. I did not hear any one particular Ugandan come up and say, look, we have a problem of EAOCOP going on home back at home in Africa, because at least now you feel there's going to be a little bit of platform in the African continent and the African space, and you feel maybe you can rally some kind of support in that regard. Have we not just run into, people have said that most of the people are only doing that for plane tickets to run around and do that kind of business. Are we really serious with this thing?
Let me tell you one thing. It is not the responsibility of a European to know your interests. He will always know his interests, and they will work according to their interests.
Exactly. So why do we always run to?
Listen,
I need the EU. I need the US to pronounce itself on this. I need this and that.
One of the things that I want us to strategically and know is that for them, they are working on their interests.
Yes, that's right.
It's like a business, it's a marketplace. You come, the highest bidder takes it.
Yes.
But when you look at the Ugandans, like the government of Uganda, it is reactionary. When you go to the Europeans, they will say, you have gone there because they are giving you per diem. But look here, they have also run to them.
Yeah, they have, that's right.
Total is financing it fully. And Total will benefit. That's why I'm telling you, it's taking 62%.
And Total is from a European country.
And Uganda is taking 15%. How did we even settle for less as Ugandans?
Now, would the discussion be that the problem of the EAOCOP is that the foreigners are going to benefit more than we do, as opposed to this is going to affect this? Because even the European economies developed on the Industrial Revolution, which was crude oil, it was all of this oil and gas kind of business.
Let me tell you one thing. I was still explaining to you that Ugandans are reactionary. Our leaders are reactionary. When you do this, they will do that. But before you do what you want to do, because I've done what I've done, have you listened to me first? Because certain things that we're telling them, you will go to the parliament, you'll go everywhere, But are we saying, is it true that the biodiversity of that place is going to change forever and ever?
It possibly will.
It will change, definitely. Will it changing affect the life of my grandchild? It will. Okay, we have agreed upon that. What can we do to see that we reduce the impact? Because me running to the European Union, running to the US, look here, there is what we call the International Financing Corporation.
That's right.
And it has standards. They call them the Equator Principles. when you look at the assessment of everything, they are telling us that indeed what you are saying is true and Ugandans are going to lose. And we are telling them, is there any other option? They're saying, yes, there is this. And we're talking to our leaders saying, okay, all said and done, as us Ugandans, can we sit back and understand this? But our leaders, especially the president, he has a vested interest in this. He's saying, no, when I say something, I want it done that way. And you're saying, no, man, you are not going to be here 100 years to come. But you are affecting my children by your reactions. And they're saying, no, we shall take you to police, we shall imprison you, we shall arrest your leaders. I'm saying, no, come on, guys. Let's listen to each other. Because the Europeans have their interest. What is our interest as Ugandans? Because you are displacing families. The human rights violations. When you see what Sinok is doing there, they are literally eating all the animals. These Chinese, they are literally eating all the animals. And we're telling them, come on, you can have another delicacy. Leave these ones. And they're telling us they are not going to listen to us. These people, look here. We are telling them, look, when you look at River Nile, there are so many countries that benefit from River Nile.
Yes. Yeah, that's
the
right.
Egyptians, as far as Ethiopia. When you look at Congo River, one of the busiest and the most magnificent river, it's going to be affected. Because if there is a spill at Lake Albert, all the people in Congo and all that life there is going to cease to exist. When you come to Lake Victoria, we have a problem that the heat that is going to be coming from this pipeline is going to be affecting so many things. And we're saying, okay, is there another option? If we didn't have an option, we wouldn't be making noise. We would say, let's eat our pie and be humble. But we are telling them, okay, before we eat our pie, there is this option. Can we explore it? Because look here, they arrested us. We were demonstrating, me with my colleagues. Do you know the charge they preferred against us? No. They told us common nuisance. And I told my lawyer, no. For me, they were explaining to us, if they find you moving,
you're becoming a nuisance.
You become a common nuisance. I'm telling you, no, I have facts. I've been to Munyoro several times. Can we discuss this? No, we can't discuss that. You go home on bail.
Why do you always think in the negative? What if there is no spill?
My friend, we are telling you that you are going to, okay, there will be no spill. But for the oil to be transported, egenda kubeeranga waliwo baddeko awantu nga waliwo temperatures 50 n'ogenda waggulu. Omubiri gw'omuntu okushuttinga down, your temperature need to be 37. We are talking about 50. And no one wants to listen because, anyway, a European said something. If someone pays your food, he has a right to tell you not to beat your wife.
That's right. I agree.
If you went to the Europeans to finance this.
You also went to the Europeans?
Yes, we go to Big Papa. All of us, we go to Big Papa. Because they went there. And for us to think, no, what we are financing has an issue here and you also know it. And they're saying, let's suspend for 2 years and listen to this. The Ugandan government is reacting, is arresting everyone. And they're telling us, no, we are not stopping it. Actually, these people have not understood this. Tebagamba nti no, omudumu tegukolwa. Bandange naffe tugamba nti Amafuta tetuga exploringa. Tugamba, tusobola okuga exploringa at a less cost.
Bob, either I am the one
less environmental cost.
At a less environmental cost, at a less human rights cost.
Either I am the one who's confused, or Bob is
confusing.
No, I am not saying it's confusing.
Bob is confusing you.
He's confusing me, yes. Here is the thing. From what I've heard, you're saying that where the pipeline will be passing, there's going to be a lot of issues. And you're also saying that we need to have the pipeline. So what exactly are we doing? Because if we have the pipeline, like you say, there's going to be biodiversity cost to that. Yes? We agree on that. But you also say the truth is we actually need to have the pipeline. So yes. Which is which?
Let me tell you one thing. If they do not listen to what we are telling them, we'll reach an extent of telling them, okay, let's even leave it for now. Because we're telling them, tugwetaaga omudumu guno naye tusobola okukendeza ku impact ey'obutonde egenda okukosebwa kubanga technology gw'oli mu kwemplowalinga mubi People no longer go to war directly. People use drones these days. Wars are being fought by machines. We are telling them, okay, the Europeans have understood the value of life. So they want to withdraw as many soldiers from that war and use machines. We are telling them, okwono n'obutonde tukendeezeeko nga mukosa techniques endala, the best available techniques. Kino tukigamba gavumenti y'Uganda. Why gavumenti y'Uganda?
What are the available techniques? It's what we want to understand. Because now, even if you look at the oil and gas that is being transported, even the European countries, the ones from Russia to the German and all that, most of those things actually still use pipelines. In fact, all of them use pipelines.
Yes.
And so I want you to tell us, because now you're saying the pipeline is going to have that effect, which we probably agree. I agree with you. There's side effects to that. What are the available techniques that we're talking about, the technology that we're going to use that does not include a pipeline in the ground?
Look here, I have tried to explain this to you. The technology they are using will do 4 major things. The temperature is going to be so high. So, the surrounding areas, people are going to die, the animals are going to die. The animals are going to migrate from the national park. They have started.
It's possible.
We are saying that, but there is an unavailable technology through research that can decrease the temperature to 5%. This conversation will become sweeter if the government of Uganda starts listening. But they have not reached that stage of listening. They don't want to listen. We are telling them, for instance, you have paid a fifth of the people that are going to be affected. And they're saying, yeah, let's begin, we shall see. You think, no, if you do that, they are going to start vandalizing it, and we shall lose. We have all the available, and we're saying that actually, if we decided to say, we know we have the oil, let's not explore it, develop these other things, they can bring in the more money. Saying, no, we must explore it. Okay, if you are going to explore the oil, can you? Because look here, the only person that is investing in the infrastructure of this pipeline is Total Energies. Ugandan money is not anywhere. And you're saying this person, you gave him a lot of percentages in this. Let him use these better techniques. They don't want to listen. Whoever talks about it is charged, is imprisoned. People in Bunyoro are not even at liberty to speak about these things because of the intimidation. We are telling them, if we move into that lane, the cost of that is this. Jesus Christ talked to the people of the law. He told them, you guys, this is... They crucified him for calling himself the Son of God. And some of them confessed after they said, this guy was different. We are telling them, our only problem is that we can't see the future. It is so painful when you know something and you can't see what is going to happen in the future. I normally tell my students, I used to tell my students, if you are seated on a branch of a tree and you are counting that branch and someone tells you, you are soon going to fall. What the government of Uganda is telling us is, mind your own business. But where you are falling is where I'm cooking from. You are going to spoil my food. You don't want to listen. We're telling you, stop cutting. Because you are going to fall. First of all, you are going to fall. Secondly, you are going to affect me. And they don't want to listen. We are saying, some of you, what option do we have? The bad things that Ugandans have not read. We have available reports on what they can do and when they can do it. But for them, they have branded us as people who are non-patriotic, who are being used by the whites to see that.
Is the timing also wrong for the government to extract the oil?
I'm telling you, when you look at the richest country with so many resources, especially oil, is the US. They have decided not to explore their oil because they have done the assessment and seen that the cost of exploring is, they have other cheaper ways of acquiring what they would exploit.
Have they stopped the world's leading oil and gas corporations are based in the US?
Yes, you make research. They have not explored theirs. They get from wherever they do, and that's a topic for another day. They use it. And the world is changing. People are running to electric cars. For we are in 1900. we are trying to explore the oil. Okay, but even when we decide to explore it, can we do it at a less environmental cost? Because what we are affecting, when you affect River Nile, you are not affecting only Ugandans. It will go as far as the Egypt. And we tell them, okay, guys, can you extend this pipeline like 50 kilometers away from the lake? We don't want to listen. Guys, and we're thinking, what do you want us to do?
So
anyway?
a pipeline that is being heated, you want it to be extended away from the lake. That means away from the waters.
Yes.
So how safe is
possible.
it going to be?
It is not safe anywhere, but the lake, when you affect the lake, you affect the food. The human being, even who is in as far as Guru, is going to be affected. You see, we're telling them that if birds die, the world is going to be affected. We have species of birds that are not anywhere elsewhere in the world. They're in Uganda. Marshall Falls. And we're telling them, okay, can we really try to minimize the temperature so that the birds stay? They don't want to listen.
But you were talking about Total Energy is having 62%, but do you think Total Energy is bringing the biggest percentage in this whole thing?
All what we are fighting about is not the percentage that they have. Actually, from the confidential agreements we have, there are people whose shares were put in Total. We shall reach that extent. But Total claims has 62%, but there is a 2% that they don't own.
Who owns it? Because who are energies proves
things to do with oil, we shall take things slowly by slowly. Because tomorrow, I don't want you to be affected that they don't want you to host anyone talking about oil. Because there are things that are trivial right now. The most important thing is that we are telling them, can you change the techniques? Okay, if they did change the techniques of the exploration, we'll say, okay, let's look at something else. Tetugenda kuchikwatira wamu tubuza abantu. Kwa wajja kugamba mulwana ntabuza mweziri personal. Mwagala Museveni agende. No, for us ne bwasigalako naye nga bakoze ekintu ekituufu. Obutonde bugenda kubeera affected. Ekyo ffenna tukyagulwinzeeko. Ne tugaa waliwo option endala. Ate option endala eno si gwe ogiteeka mu ssente. Tusobola okugitunulako, toyagala tutunuleyo. Tugamba nti n'abantu bano booli mu kugoba ku ttaka nga tebakkiriziganyiza naawe. Bagenda kulumba omudumu ogwo bagwonoone. Ne tukuwa examples ekyatuka e Nigeria n'awalala wonna. Twagala kiwuliriza. Senga kirituukawo mudda, then ng'ogamba nti no, tetwamanya.
Ali bataliiwo. Naye kaakati option eno endala gye mugamba, bani abagenda ogiteeka mu ssente. Because if it is Total Energies, we're engaging in business, they're looking at making profits. It might be costly nti bwe banaagikosa that your option gye mbawa, tebagenda kujjamu kye bateekamu.
Kati bw'obanga tosobola, eyo ezomba gwe bazikuba. Bw'obanga oli atosobola kukola nga ffe bwe tukyagala, oba bwe kyandibadde ekituufu, kireke.
Who is most interested in this whole thing? Is it Uganda or Total Energies?
Total Energy has 62%, Ugandans will have 15%. That answers the whole question. Naye Uganda yegenda okufiirwa ennyo okusinga Total. Total ina sente zesoboteekamu ne bakola ebintu mu butuufu.
It has 62%, but Uganda or the Ugandan government is more interested in extracting the oil than Total.
Why is Uganda more interested in exploring the oil that they are not going to benefit from?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob
it is benefiting by getting 15%.
But Uganda can get that 15%, even we can get that money more by even developing the Marshall Falls.
Okay,
but we want to extract the oil.
Why? Why is it a do or die?
Let's go in for a very short commercial break. We'll come back and I want us to have a discussion on, we will have that discussion on who actually benefits better than the other. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of the drive. My name is Roger Stoyabe and Farida Bikobede, and we have our guest today, Bob Barigye, is talking to us about EAOCOP. It's an interesting discussion, but there's a lot of questions, particularly as an individual. It should be known by now that I'm an environmentalist myself. But there are things I first...
I'm going to share documents with you.
Thank you so much. Let's go in for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk. The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Welcome back from that short commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome again to the Mighty Drive, and today's discussion is about the environmental threats of the East African crude oil pipeline. We're also trying to find solutions to what exactly can be done better. Now, Mr. Bob was talking to us before we went to the break, which I did try the first out of both of them, that the EAOCOP, which has the biggest percentage of the oil, is much interested in the oil than Uganda is. Yeah, but if I am not mistaken, if I'm trying to have my facts right, it is that Uganda actually did go to EAOCOP or to these countries to look for who can actually fund the exploration of oil in Uganda. In fact, when Mr. President was at the US Africa Leaders Summit, he did actually try to survey a little bit of who else can actually fund this whole process to make sure that the oil is explored very efficiently, but also that we benefit from it. From where I sit, I feel like the Uganda is actually more interested in the oil, which would make sense because anyway the money would be aiming at developing the country as one. But what now do we put at EAOCOP? What bargaining power do we have that we own the oil, but now the other companies that are going to be exploring actually are taking the biggest percentage?
There is one thing that I want to tell you. If you become so poor, you become so desperate. Poverty is always a disease of the mind. Just because Uganda thinks can have another cash flow, other money, they are thinking that they must do anything to explore the oil. That's how Uganda becomes desperate. Total comes in as all business people, as all transnationals, sees an opportunity and teams up with Uganda and they decide to explore the oil. That is a fact. But we are saying, okay, we will want you to explore the oil. But is there another option? Because if Uganda talked, look here, Ugandans, we are rich. We are just mismanaged. If we went to the way we use our money, look at that parliament, look at the cluster expenditure, look at the president's office. If we were so passionate about having money, because expenditure takes away your money, reduce that. Look, develop what you have that is less risky. Ugandans are forgetting that we have had Action Falls, we have had foreign exchange coming into Uganda because of that. Now we have another option. We want to explore, bring in more money. We're saying, okay, this one has not been fully utilized. If you could only just don't do on this one, we develop this one, we can get the same money with less environmental effects. When people look at game parks, when people look at reserves, people want to vandalize it, have the big chunks of land, put their cattle. We're saying, okay, no. But people who came even before you left these game parks. To a Ugandan, to a layman, when you explain to them, we have always been moving around game parks, trying to educate the community how to make sure that they preserve the animals. They're telling you, no, but for me, I don't have where to dig from. That's why we have devised means to see that the money that they collect, they can at least try to give the host community of the game parks so that people have a livelihood. And we have been successful in that. In this, we are talking to the government that you wanting to explore this oil has so many effects than the option of only developing Action Falls. Action Falls is going to cease to exist. Within 10 years, the oil is going to be no more. But what you have lost, you will never regain. After the 10 years, the income of 10 years. Sorry to use this example. Prostitution is one quick way of getting money. Is it sustainable? Ugandans want to become like prostitutes. Get the little money so fast. They're not looking at the risks of the diseases. They're not looking at everything. We're telling them, hey, you can avoid that quick money. Get this small business. You girl, you will be okay. Ugandan is abusing us. Uganda is abusing us. No, this is my body. Those guys are telling you. I think, no, but yeah, it's your body, but it's us that you are going to affect in the next future. So that's what the Ugandan government does not want to listen. And we are telling it actually that even then, you will get money. But this one is getting more money. And it's the one investing in the infrastructure. Can't you make him invest more so that he gets the money and you also get the money at a low environmental cost? And they are saying, we don't want to listen to you. Guys, what option do we have? Do people want that the oil is developed and it is being guarded by guns all the time? Do you want what is happening in other oil-producing countries to come to us? We are lucky that we have examples. We have known, you see people say, hey, these ones are exploring. But for us, we are, a wise person learns from other people's mistakes, not from your own mistake. Uganda wants to learn from its own mistake. And that's what hurts some of us, the environmentalists. All the reports have been made. We are talking to NEMA, saying you have this responsibility, but these people are telling us our hands are tied. And we're asking, who is tying your hands? And then, if you want it, go on yourself, do it yourself. That's why we are here. We are saying that, what? Most Ugandans, no, tugamba ne oba ogasimye. Ebisolo bino obirekeddewo option ki? Ennyanja bw'enaatabanguka. Carbon dioxide ekagenda okubeera tugenda kuziira. Obutawuliriza bw'abakulembeze bwaffe bwe buleese ensi eno ku maviivi. Kuno tubagamba mutuwulirizeeko. Bakakwata abaana wano Makere wajjukira judges waliwo abaga nti tusupportinga be babitandika by the way noffe. Ffe twali tulowooza nno biri diplomatic tujja kwogera mu office. Until we baga ne bateeta abaana b'essomero ne baleeta ku street. Nekino nabyo basobola kiwuliriza naffe leeke tugendeyo. Ne be bakwata abantu babakuba. So I talked to one police officer when they arrested us. I told him, okay, you have arrested me, I have not been rowdy. Now why do you want to beat us? Are we what we are saying, is it wrong? No, you know, you people, your things are complicated. Complicated how? Their hands. He told me, do you think I'm the one who manages this police station? Look here, the Omukama cannot speak about oil. And is the leader of these people. What is going to happen after you have developed your infrastructure? We are talking to Total. These people are making for you a silly bargain. You are going to build it. They are assuring you with the safety, what and what. They are not going to do it. Talk to these people. Listen to them. Counsel them. It's a new development. Talk to them, make them love it. Let it be our oil, not my oil. If it is your oil, then that's where you're going to have the problems from. Because if you don't want to listen to me at this stage, I'm telling you, this is wrong. We can't do this. I say, no. How am I going to be able to talk to you when you have gotten the money of the oil?
So if it is my oil, then the 15% really is enough for you.
It's a good share.
It's a good share.
Look here. We are talking about someone else, an imperialist, like if it's an European, taking 62% and is doing for you a shoddy work. If you decide to build for me a house and I'm going to pay you, you don't build me what you want. You build me what I want and then I pay you. That's what we are doing as Ugandans. Because all this money, when they start exploring, they are going to take the money. We are telling them the house you are building is so bad and you are building it in the middle of the road. Could you extend it a little bit? Don't talk to us. Like, seriously.
See, but the problem is you, Uganda, did not. One, you're not the owners of the market. Second, you did not even bargain for the market. The country that is doing the construction work is the same country that is providing the market for the oil, the same country that is bargaining in the market for how much your oil will go. So you can imagine, and you can really find a footing for them to see that they are taking the biggest advantage.
This oil will not entirely be in Uganda. Tanzania is offering 1,000 kilometers the Tanzanians are saying, hey, they're saying, you Ugandans, you just talk. And we're telling you, okay, see those people?
So let
for
them
them,
act.
for them, they are. And for them, they are going to react in a bitter way. Look here, if we export the oil here, and the infrastructure at Port Tanga is not available for it to be exported, it's going to be a bad deal. We are saying, let's listen to people. Let's try to, it's not a do or die. We are not in a hurry. This oil is not going anywhere. By the way, if it was flowing like water, we would say it is going to flow away. It will be there. Can we do this in a better way, in an organized way, so that we don't have the risk? When the risks start coming, when people start getting arms, Ugandans are so peaceful. We will not do that. But across the border, because this oil pipeline was supposed to go through Kenya. The Kenyans had some questions. It was diverted to these people that didn't have a lot of questions. For them, they have started asking the questions.
They also receiving good share for just the transportation.
For instance, Tanzania. For them, actually, they have a corporation. It is more legit. Ugandans, for us, it's a company with shareholders. The Tanzanians, for them, they will benefit 15%. Ugandans, we are benefiting 15%. We are the owners of the oil. We are going to lose so much. We are talking about all the things that we're going to lose. Lose Lake Albert, Lake Victoria, the game reserves, our families. Because, okay, we will take that risk. We are telling them, okay, look at the agreements that you even made. Tanzania is getting the same shares like us. Wow. So no, don't talk. No, we need to explore the oil.
They did a good bargain because that is
for us. We are saying okay. We
cannot fault Tanzania for getting 15%.
Yes, and for us we are not faulting it. We are saying okay. Now that we are losing much, can these people that are going to finance take a responsibility to see that they can reduce on what we are going to lose? Because even the agreements we lost, but this one we do not want to lose the environment. We don't want people to lose their livelihood and tomorrow we have a problem with the oil.
But have you tried to engage Total
yes.
Oil as it is? Because now then you can show them like, yeah, you are going to put the things in place, but people are going to vandalize them now that you have talked to the government and it is not giving you a deaf ear.
Look here, we keep on engaging everyone. We are talking to the government of Uganda and Total tells us, for us, you have leaders and your leaders, if they told us to change this, we will change it. We are talking to the government of Uganda. These people are ready to even change. Could you please tell them? The Ugandan government is telling us, shut up. And we think, who is benefiting from this? Is there things that we do not know?
Are they really ready or they're just giving you that statement as an scapegoat?
No.
If you change anything here, we are not doing it.
Total, the biggest percentage is owned by the government of France. We have talked even to the president of France. And he's telling you, okay, you guys, you have a point. Are your leaders willing to talk to us and we change it? Because for us, we made an agreement with some people. When you make an agreement, the people that are party to the agreement can have influence on the change of the agreement. We are talking to our government and telling them, these people are even willing to advance the technology on this exploration. Please talk to them about it. They don't want to listen. We keep on telling them, but why don't you want to okay, tell us you have talked to them, they have failed. Talk to us and tell them they are telling us to change the percentages so that they can. We know there are so many things that take place in agreeing. But government tell you willing so kubyogera nako.
Sirowooza nti government eyina options endala oba esobola okwogera ne Total Energies waliwo option ey'okukyusa.
Government yaffe eriva stubborn. Tutuusa okwogera ku bino ebintu nga tumaze nagenda ku nguudo. Tubagamba endagaano zo zemwakola katuzitunuleko oluusi temulina bitu buli kimu kye tubabuuza tebagakiddamu ate obuzibu bujja tubulaba. No, in the Bible told people it's going to rain. Animals were more clever than the people. They started pairing up and entering. And no told people, God did not want people to die. He kept on telling them, he's an activist, he's telling you, it's going to rain cats and dogs, and this guy is mad. when it started raining, people are knocking on the ark, it was closed. We are telling Ugandans, it's going to rain. Please, could the government do this and this? They are calling us mad people who are being used by the imperialists. Okay, we are not that. Could we engage on a better forum? They do not want to listen. What option do I have as an environmentalist? Someone who is passionate. Someone who studied on UPE money to know what is right and wrong. Why did they take us to schools? Our pain is that we have eyes and we know what is going to happen. The government does not simply want to listen. Look here, when they vandalize the falls, we have always been telling them, but the power that we are generating, what hurts us? We are paying for it and we are not even using it. But we had another option. You cut your cloth, you cut your coat according to your cloth.
On the human rights side, away from the whole money and the deal itself, do you Were these people, do you look into, were these people given agreements, the people are being displaced and all that business? Have you gone to the ground to talk to some of them and see, do some bit of mediation if that is necessary to see how much better that can be done? Because it would be different to base in Kampala and say we need compensation for the people in Hoima or in the people, whoever is in the line of the pipeline, without actually being to the ground and understanding what actually happened between them and the government. Have you looked at that?
We have so much. And actually one of the biggest threat to this is the land acquisition and valuation. When they went to our people, they told them, you leave your places, we are going to pay you. 3 years down the road, they have not paid.
Leave your places and go where?
They don't know where these people are. They have fenced off these tracts of land.
So who lured them into leaving their places without being paid?
They were fooled. For us, we are saying, okay, if the Total gave you money and you ate it, tell us, we explain to these people. They don't want to say anything. There's an example that there is a road that was being constructed by the Chinese and the funding was withdrawn. I don't remember the exact road because of the violation of the human rights. Do we want that to happen? That the funding keeps on, is stopped because people are being killed?
So what
their livelihood is being disrupted without payment?
What is exactly happening in these places that these people left? Is there any other developments? Because if nothing is there, they should reconsider coming back and demand for their money.
They will be arrested, some will be killed. Some have been killed, some have been arrested when they go back.
But being arrested for the right thing...
My friend, this is Uganda for you. Me, Bob, I can speak. I have a voice. There are people who are voiceless. Some people don't. They just... Because if you get their leader and arrest him, and they know it, some of them are going to be intimidated. They'll say, hey, even that one. Actually, Uganda thrives on fear. They want to instill fear, and then they do what they want. For instance, it's tactical. It is tactical. Withdraw their peace of mouth, and then look here. For us, I don't want to go on record with things to do with Omukama because they have a spokesperson. They have an organized, respected institution that does all that. But from my perspective, as an individual, I think it is right that is not going in Bunyoro. Land, these people, I want you to interest yourself in this. Go to Bunyoro. Make a simple documentary on what is going on. Maybe for us, we are liars. They want to tell us we are being used. People's land, they're not using it, they have fenced it off, and they don't even have the money. People are moving, they are meandering, they are in relatives, and you're telling them, okay, if you are not going to use the land now and you don't have the money, leave these people to stay there so that when you get money, they can relocate and you use the land. They don't want to do that. We have government officials that have started acquiring large chunks of land in Bunyoro. Just to make the work expensive for them making shoddy deals. And we're saying that is wrong. This person, God has blessed him, has cast him or blessed him by him being in where they're going to pass the pipeline, and he should get that money and leave. They are valuing their land at as little as 100,000 per acre.
You should all put your energies in Bunyolo to talk to these people who are being displaced. Like, if they have not paid you, please don't leave your land. No. So in that, because you have engaged these other ones that are displacing them and they are not healing, so you should put all your energies to the people of Bunyolo that are being displaced.
We are putting all our efforts on every front. I want to tell you one thing. Ugandan government, Total, Sinok, the government of Tanzania, they are going to have a good run for their money with us. Whoever will win this will win it. But for us, we are saying, listen to us. People should be treated as human beings. We have a woman that we talked to. She lost her husband. The woman is HIV positive. 2 of her kids are sick. And she's being displaced without being paid. When you talk to these people, you feel like crying. You're telling them, but how is this possible in the 21st century? When we talk and Total tells us, for us, they have not told us to do this. When we say, okay, stop and pay these people. Those are being used. Now they're running to the whites. They want air tickets. We can also tell them, they also want, because they're the ones that frequent that place all the time. They're going to the US, they went to Europe because of this. You go, let's explain to this. Financial institutions, 20 banks, commercial banks, have refused to invest in the Ugandan oil sector. Why? Because of the things that we are saying. Insurers, no one is willing to insure that pipeline just because things have not been done the right way. They know if these people have not paid these people, if I insure, they're going to vandalize it and we are going to lose money. Because for them, when they're in business, they're not going to say anything. They'll simply say, we don't have the money to insure that. But we're telling them, these people can come on board if you only paid these people their money and they left in peace. And these people are saying, you people, you are mad.
Simbalenga mba musoke muguseke ensonga emwemu bamukutte y'abantu babasasule musoke muguseeyo
andi fe tugamba
muloke mudde ku kya pipeline okukyusibwa eyisibwa abantu awatu kati wakati omuntu abulako n'ekyokuwuliriza kye mwagala pipeline ekyusibwe mwagala abantu basasulwe ate mwagala Total ine emigabo mingi nnyo ate environment so mukwataganye n'ebintu biyitirivu singa mufunako ensonga emubweti nga je mu front nga ffe twagala kino
anti kati fe olaba ekintu kiri kimu waliwo ensonga nnyingi sobola zonna zijja tonnasasula bantu wogenda oguyisa ogenda kwonoona obutonde bw'ensi nze abaire nze kambabulira waga nti n'ebyemigabo olusi tubyogera
kubanga bwaba wagenda okuyisa agenda kwonoona obutonde bw'ensi teyeetaaga ku displacing then you shouldn't be advocating for them to pay the people kuba displacing kubanga already wagenda kwonoona
waliwo kati bwe baali banoonya we bayisa ogwo omuntu kubanga abamu baali bagala okufisaako enjawulo baagala nnyo okuyisa awantu watali we batajja kusasula bantu okitegeera awatali nnyo nga bagamba abamu bayisa mu game reserves national parks ne bayitako ku mazzi kubanga kati buli wakwata n'akwata kilometers 4 n'ayisa mu mazzi sente ezo tebajja kusasula bantu naye nga zijja kufuluma kati yaga nti mukufuna sente fe obutonde bw'ensi bufe tumugamba come on lwaki oli selfish okitegeera kale ogera kuyiseeyo naye ate noono gwogenda okuyiseewo kubanga omwetaaga lwaki tomuwa kantu ke naavaawo okitegeera naye fe ekitulwanya ennyo gavumenti ye Uganda teri willing kwogera ku bintu bino honestly bwe mbanga ababirese ne mbanga aba striking zeri mbanga nti okay kino tukikole bwe twagamba tusaba European Union kwa bagenda kufandinga kino ekyo twagamba nti okay mutuwe mwaka de myaka omwaka fe twalisabye no by the way 5 mutuwe myaka 5 tusoke tudeyinge ko tusoke tukole ku bino ebintu mbanga nedda abantu bajja fira business yawe katuweye emyaka 2 tunwe bye mwogera ne bye bakola Uganda sente ze ya spending okulaba nti no batandika okuzungirira okulaba nti no kiddamu zisinga ne ze bandikosezza okukola research n'okulaba batusobola okukola ki okuzaawo ate ekyo kintu twamala kutuuka mu European Union abantu ne bweka bagamba kino n'ekintu kiri serious naye nga luli baali tebatuwuliriza ffe tugamba can we have an honest dialogue on this tukugamba omuntu alina obuzibu tonamusasula ssente mbwate mwogera nnyo
so oyogeddeko nti you have ever met the president of France
as the campaign so, not pescally me
so what was his response? Because everything that is happening here is being supported by his government.
Yes, for us we are saying, for him, he's saying, what you're saying is right. I will tell my people to stop so that we finish this. Ugandan government is so desperate to tell them, no, Mama, don't stop. Mama, don't stop. We can go ahead. The person
identified what you were talking about is right.
Yes. And for them, they are willing to even change the technology of the exploration. The Ugandan government is not willing to. And for us, the question is, why? Omuntu akuwe sente, omuntu akuwa sente aganti no, ngenda kuwa sente onzizemu interest wa mitwale 5. Niwabawo munna akugambira ko nabaganti no, omuwere ku mitwale 4. Ate gwe bagenda okuwola sente, gogamba nedda wamma mpera ku 5, interest ebere 5. Unless you have an interest, unless you are hiding something.
Neka katika nkubuze. Ania clearly total energies okuleta byerina okuleta. I think because gwembaza agendo zimbe nyumba. Nza alonda material gwengendo kozesa, nza manyawa wengendo mugula. Since the government knew what they were doing here is wrong, they would just change. There is no need of them engaging the government of Uganda because government of Uganda taina chegula kubibagendo kozesa.
In fact, the president told them, look, if you cannot find it, it's okay, you can stay with the money so we can move on.
Yes.
And look for other funding.
Yes.
And then here we were with Total, from the president who told you that we are going to stop.
Look here. President Museveni is not the most honest person. You guys who think that he's so honest, he's not. We are Total Energy can be because they have an agreement. They signed an agreement. When you sign an agreement, what you ku ndagaano chikakatako ne byokozeemu ensobi okubeera ntino bikola ki obigondera ne tuga ntino mu revising kino ekintu mala ntino buli muntu akola ki kitambula bulungi. Government ya Uganda kwanga yote yagala kuswala ekimanyi ntino banadde ko byogera wagenda kuvaayo n'ebyama ebisingako ku ebyo bagamba tebali willing kuddamu kubyogera kyokala mwami Museveni bali yagamba ntino we have an agreement with you people. You know what it means. But the Total Energy is willing to change.
Nga Total bwe balimba kati nze njagala okuloza Total balimba. Nze nawe bwoba ozi okumpa omukolo gwonga ogamba Farida nkubaga ekifaananyi naye ngenda kukozesa ki Itel. So I come with the Samsung. It is to your own benefit because Samsung is going to give you a better picture. So why would you be complaining?
That's what you're asking. Why is the government of Uganda doesn't want people to be paid?
That means the government will not complain. They will not complain for us.
Who is the government?
Who is the
government? Who is the government?
The people.
Good, well said. And it's the people that have not been compensated. We are saying the agreement that you are entering in, you are entering it on behalf of the Ugandans. And it's us, some of the Ugandans that are informed, that are telling you, you are making a bad bargain. We are going to lose a lot. But because in Africa, the government is a few old people that are in a room, they think they can make trivial decisions on important environmental. The thing that is going to affect my grandchild when his will judge me right. I will tell my grandchildren when the problems come. I will tell them, but we tell these people.
I did my best.
We did our best. That's why we are doing everything. History will judge you well because we have had this conversation. Within 20, 40 years to come, clips are going to be played, us speaking these things, and people are going to say, why were these people so stubborn that they could not listen to these people? In Africa, we always go with the majority, no matter the quantity. But people should listen even to the minority if they have a point to put across. Me, I'm telling you, I'm a biologist, for God's sake. I studied up to university. I know biology. I'm telling you, you are a political scientist. I'm telling you, when you do this and this and this is going to be the effect. The guy wanted to spray us with DDT until we said, we can't. And people who are going to sell. For him, he was willing to go ahead. People who are going to sell it to him in large quantities said, no. people in the next future, people are going to have a problem with us. People are putting nuclear weapons. People want to use them. Some of them will be in their offices and press a button and affect everything. And for us, we are saying, please, these people, you are killing them for nothing. The animals that are being displaced, Ugandans are people that you find a European coming from Europe to go to Maxon Falls. Me, I'm a Ugandan. If a European was telling you that Maxon Falls is going to go away and we are going to lose money, you would say European is, you don't know. But it's me, Ugandan, that is telling you. I've been to Maxon Falls several times. And you see where they're going to pass. And when you meet with these technocrats, especially from Total, they will tell you, oh, okay, but as Bob, as you are explaining, we can go through this and we avoid this. It's okay. And the Ugandan government will tell them, the guy have said he can do, they can. They're saying, no. You are Magahedi. You know what we agreed upon. And we're saying, for God's sake, why are you doing this? Are you this selfish?
Bob, let me tell you. What my belief is, there is a lot of deceit in this whole thing of EAOCOP. The French people or the European people are deceiving you that they can change anything for us.
The science that I'm talking about was not taught me by a European.
Is willing to change. And okay, let's say President Museveni is also deceiving Ugandans that maybe if the pipeline is done that way, there are lesser impacts. But I want to tell you, no European person has ever wished good for an African and then bad for their country. If they are investing in this, they are looking at
I want to be on record. I want to be on record. The Europeans invest entirely in our medical sector. They're the biggest funders of our medical sector. Look here, my brother. They fund 53% of the Ugandan budget. When it comes to such things, when they are going to borrow money to invest in the defense and etc., it's okay. The European money is good money. When European money is being used to say, okay, let's talk about the environment, it's bad money. The Europeans are the ones that are buying Ugandan jets. They're the ones that are paying your MPs. They're the ones that are funding your roads.
No,
and if you say they are bad, their money is bad, my friend, I want you to interest yourself and find out the money that we use, where it comes from. I don't want to go to the economics. Today I've come to talk about the environment. I'm saying that if you destroy Maxon Falls, the jobs that you are creating and the jobs that you are going to destroy, the jobs that you are going to destroy are many. The tour guides, the hotelians, everything. And you're saying, okay, it is right. And I'm telling you, we can avoid destroying it and have a better option. You're saying that's also right. And you don't want to do it.
No, we are not saying the European money is bad, but we are saying the Europeans are more interested in this because they are funding it and they are looking at profits.
What is funding? A company that is making money is funding. It is not funded by a government in Europe. A company that wants to make money. If you make a company, you want to make money.
Bob.
For them, they want to make money. But at the cost of a Ugandan. That's what is hurting me.
Bob.
Some European is going to be in his chair, making money shareholder, but at an environmental cost, at a family in Africa that is losing their only livelihood. That family is going to feed someone's family who is sitting in a sofa somewhere.
So if
and we're saying, okay, you can feed your family. We don't care how you do your business. But even care for that person so that his child can have a roof over his head. And you don't want to listen?
So if someone who is seated comfortably in their chair somewhere in France,
he wants to displace an orphan
who is in Africa,
in Africa,
and you are running to that same person
because the government of Uganda is giving him a liberty. We are saying, okay, you can feed your people. But look at this child too. Me, I'm an African, I'm a Ugandan, I care for a Ugandan. I care for my diversity. I care for the animals. I care for the falls. I care for every Ugandan. That's why I'm saying, okay, as you make your money, this family should not be affected. If that family is affected, and I'm becoming a prophet, some people call us a prophet of doom. If this family is not taken care of, your investment is going to be vandalized. And you don't want to listen to that. Boy. We are saying let's have a collective engagement where we can sit. Me, I would wish you bring me back here with someone who supports this oil exploration, seated there, seated here, we talk about facts. That's how Ugandans will benefit, and that's how Ugandans will understand me. Because that same person, if he's informed to my level, he will always tell me, Bob, this is you are right, here you are right. This has been made research. And we shall say, okay, as Ugandans, not our leaders, as Ugandans, how can we get the best out of this? But our leaders, for them they care for.
You mean to say there was no assessment report?
Very many of them. And they all saying what we are saying. And we have options, we have ways we can have these rectified. The things, we can't say that they are not rectified. They can be rectified. What Ugandans have done, Ugandans have got so disappointed that they sit in their offices, they sit at their homes and keep quiet. Some of us are willing to go an extra mile to say these things, go to prison, blah, 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 blah. And even us who are saying, it's you, the Ugandans, that are disappointing us. Instead of saying, okay, is this possible? Bob, have you tried this avenue? Have you done this? Why aren't these people listening? Then that's what we should be discussing. But here we are, hey, European. Hey, no. We need to have an honest conversation about EAOCOP.
There's no honest conversation, because let me tell you, I was listening when you were arguing with Farida. You said the French government is not a part of it, which is quite not true.
Which is what?
Which is not true, and we both agree to that, because here is the thing, you told us earlier that you want the campaign reached the French President Emmanuel Macron, and he said, look, we are going to halt the operations until these issues have been realized and sorted, which did not happen.
It did.
First, we know for a fact that did not happen.
Let me tell one thing. The Ugandan media has been shielded from talking about facts that are happening in Bunyoro.
Let me tell you.
And that's what happens in third world countries.
Bob, I don't want us to come here and just speak out of emotion. I understand you have facts, and it is true, and you have a good reason, but I also want us to have some kind of facts and put some things in perspective. I don't want us to only speak for the sake of speaking. That president told you we are going to stop this. That, like you said, which we would agree did not happen. But you also said that the Total company that comes from France is not governed by the French government, which is not true.
Oh,
we both know for a fact.
I didn't say that. It is partly.
When you were arguing, I was listening.
It is partly owned by shares.
When
you talk about the Total, Total has shares. The government owns some shares.
Thank you so much. But you also said at some point that the government cannot determine what Total does, which is not true. That we put to our side. But we also said...
In companies, shareholders determine.
Listen, we also said that, you see, the Europeans, they don't care what happens here, and they're giving us a lot of money, which I agree 80% of our Ministry of Health budget is funded by the USA.
So if someone says that they don't care, that would be wrong.
That is right. It's not about care. It's not about, she was talking about wishing. It's not about caring or wishing. It is a give and take.
What do you take from the Ministry of Health?
It is a long way.
No! They might not particularly be benefiting in the Ministry of Health, but they may be benefiting from some other
away.
place. Yes, there is something that they're taking from
you are in the middle.
Do you know what we mean by grants?
Bob,
someone gives you money. Europeans fund African operations just out of
Bob, you
charity.
and me, let us agree that you are not an economist, so we are not in
okay, actually, I wouldn't talk about economics. Okay, for that, let's base on the environment and EAOCOP, because the economics of it all, you'll understand that it's different.
That I agree, because there's just a lot of contradiction from what you are speaking, and I was trying to listen because I wanted to understand your position and where you're basing. But let's move on from economics. That is a discussion of another day. So we have this problem. We have the EAOCOP going on. We have your campaign going on. We are running out of time. I want you to tell us what exactly now you're going to do next, because the government seems to be stubborn, like you said. They are not giving you a listening ear. But the Total itself is also saying, look, if your government decides, we shall follow. And so it means also the Total on its own is not even going to stop unless the government actually directs or orders the stopping and the evaluation of land and all that. What are you going to do in this campaign next?
We are mounting pressure. Early next year, we shall intensify. We shall engage. We will demonstrate against it. We will go to court. We have all options. We keep on bringing one at a time. So we are going to keep on educating Ugandans, most importantly. We keep on involving every stakeholder. We are personally going to take on the responsibility of even counseling people because we think it is the right thing to do. Wala kintu kimu kyenjaga tutegeere nti nno gana amafuta bwe ganaasimibwa mu mbeera gye baagala okugasimamu Uganda tajja kufunamu, Total tajja kufunamu, ebisolo tebijja kufunamu, tugenda kuluzinga point blank. Kati nga ebyona nga tetuba kuluzinga ekyo tusooke tuke ku mbeera egamba nti no look here, we have not been here with this oil, we have not been exploring oil. If we didn't find it, what would I have done? Kubanga tulina options nyingi. Tulina options nyingi ezisobola okukozesa nga bannaUganda. Ekyamafuta nabagambye ate kyenjagala muleme kwerabira nti emyaka 10 nga tumaze otandika okugasima ebisanja bibiri gagenda kuba gaweddeyo. Naye ate bye tugenda okufiirwa byo biyinza obutaddawo. Tugamba kale investment eno nnungi naye ine ebizibu byayo. Sit back tuwuliziganye. Naye kati nze bwe nvayo ne mugamba nti tuwuliziganye n'ontwala mu kkomera kubanga gwakulira amakomera. Katulaba nti n'ekyo kiba kiri absurd. Bwe nga nti no waliwo omukyala gwe na meeting mu kitundu bwekiti nga abaana be tamanyi na option yegenda kuddako. N'onkwata n'onsiba. Kigera kusolvinga kiri ekizibu. Kubanga ffe tetugezako okukola tugaa nti no, we are going to throw anything at them until they listen to us. This conversation would not happen if we did not one day wake up and say, let's do something. I have one of my mentors, he told me, success comes to those that work, not to people who are complaining. For us, we are telling the government of Uganda. We are telling Total. We are working.
Or doing both.
We are working. We shall even there are people, you know, when you're on a battlefield, if someone throws you a piece of bread, that is the contribution of that person. Don't ever blame someone says, this one is a coward, he did not come to battle, but he has thrown a piece of bread. If you are courageous enough, you'll go on. And that's what we are doing. We are trying to engage on all fronts.
Okay.
People in Bunyoro, the activists in Bunyoro, for them, the media has been compromised there. They don't want to talk about those things. If you talk about them, you're going to be arrested and taken away. We're saying that is wrong. Listen to what I'm saying. If I'm indisciplined in the way I say my things, caution me. Say, okay, you would have said that in a right way, but you did wrong here. That's why we have the laws of the land. But if I'm telling you this can be done in a better way, and you do not want to listen to me, all the leaders have been compromised not to even speak about this. And then we are saying, okay, that's wrong for the better of the whole investment. Some people say, Bob, what do you gain in saying those things?
So katika tunuleko mu future. Singa government eba tebawuliriza. Kiki kigenda okutuuka, what is next?
Ekigenda okutuukawo kiyinza obutatuukawo nga nze akikola. Naye ate nze bwe nkikugamba tekitegeeza nti nno tekijja kutuukawo. No. Ekigenda okutuukawo kye kyatuuka ku mafuta ge Nigeria.
Kola ngamba ekigenda okutuukawo mu on a bigger picture mu Uganda as a whole.
Action Falls egenda kuvaawo. Bagenda kugivandalizing egenda kuvaawo lwakuisaawo mudumu. Resources ezibadde zijja tuwalizibwa abadde aleta sente bigenda kuva abantu bajja twala mu Action Falls. Kubanga abantu basinga okujja e Uganda kye basinga okujja okulaba naddala abazungu Action Falls. Kigenda kuba tekikyaliwo. Abana bagenda kufiirwa emirimu, ba driver, abatu, ba guides bagenda kugifiirwa. Total egenda kucreating emirimu 3,000 egiri permanent ku mafuta ago. Naye emirimu gye tugenda kufiirwa emirimu ng'omutwalo. Lwaki egyo emirimu 300 tugese my friend indirected bagenda bakuleetinze emirimu 15,000 egiri permanent giri emirimu egi 13,000. Lwaki gwe zino family 13,000 zoyagala okuliisa? Lwaki agala okuliisa at the expense aba families omutwalo? Kyetugamba this can be done differently. Tubagamba nti no, ebisolo bigenda ku migratinga. Abantu abazungu kye basinga okujja wano okulaba ekintu kitulina unique mu Uganda, the mountain gorillas. Ebwindi bwe bafunawo obutakkaanya zo zategeera mangu ne zitandika okusala. Rwanda sente zeekola mu mountain gorillas ze Uganda zisinga ffe ze tukolamu because they are a bit more organized. Tugamba nti no, Action Falls bwe navaawo n'ebisolo byonna ebiri awo n'ebisenguka. Mu myaka 10 gino emirimu 13,000 gye watondawo gigenda kuba givuddewo ate nga kyofiiriddwa togenda kukizaawo obulamu bwaffe bwonna kyetugamba nno tuwuliziganye wadde baagala okukola guno omudumu tuwuliziganye tusobole okubeera nti nno tukola ekisingayo nze bwe mba nti nno nabadde example ya Nuwa nze bwe mba nti nno ngende nti nno ekizibu kigenda okujja sinze kizibu sinze mubi ngezaako okulaga bulazi kizibu kigenda kutuukawo naye tuze ebintu ebitono ennyo differences zaffe ono alabika no wakibiina gundi batulimirako ono nalabika nno waggwanga bwe riti ono wa ddiini bwe riti nedda. So the most important thing is, as Ugandans, let's wake up, let's try our level best to inform our leaders. It is very important. It's not my responsibility alone, it's the responsibility of everyone to understand this, so that in future when you have problems, we can know that here we made a bad deal. How do we learn from it? So that's the most important thing. And for us as activists, as environmentalists, we are going to do anything humanly possible. No matter the cost we shall pay, we will make sure that they listen to us and something is changed.
Wewa omukulu muganga Taufika akutumiddeko nnyo nakwebaza okubeera
nange mbatumiddemu n'abadde batulaba bannaffe
ensonga ozittanya bulungi nnyo njagala kubeebaza ababaddeko ku Mighty Drive yaffe y'olunaku olwaleero mwebali kubeerako mwebali kulaba katusuubire ate nammwe muyizeemu because bw'ofuna information atandika nawe ogamba kituufu nno naddala mmwe abaliraanye ennyanja mulya ku nnyanja obulamu buyimiridde ku nnyanja musomesa abaana ku nnyanja so kati ndowooza itize time namwe muveeyo mugambe nti EAOCOP omusajja tujja gasima oba kale gasime naye gayise
gasime bulungi
kale gayise wala naye nga togayisiza mu nnyanja olwoja asizo ndowooza tujje wano
obimaliriza. The gentleman just told you exactly what he wants to do, and he does have a good reason, that is for a fact. But I feel like there's just a lot of work that needs to be done on both sides. On the side of the government, but also on the side of the people who are trying to make sure that the government, changes direction as far as this whole process is concerned. But that is also another discussion, and every other person, as you are out there, I believe you've learned one thing or two. But even if you don't know, he did make a call that, look, the effects are going to affect me and you, or your relatives, or distant relatives. Either way, it affects someone. And that should be important to each one of us, so I hope that you heed to his call. But also, we are living here. I think I will wish you a very Merry Christmas, because there are chances I will not appear here again. And I hope you and your families are enjoying this season. Have yourselves a very good morning.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.